I suppose everyone who was ever thinking about implementing a change must have came across a research that is proving that, in fact, substantial part of the change processes in business fail in terms of delivering the planned results, the results that were set for the process, in terms of the cost that's involved, in terms of the speed of implementation, the level of engagement of people in the organization, the quality, etc. And when you think about change, it's really something that our first reaction to is not necessarily 100% enthusiasm. It's probably a mixture of being curious and being anxious, and probably the strongest emotion that's accompanying change, the strongest reaction, is resistance. And it's quite understandable because we have to adapt to change, and it's an effort. You have to build new network, you have to acquire new skills possibly, you have to find your path in the new setup in the organization. There's plenty of reasons why to be quite a little skeptical as a first reaction to information about change. People who specialize in implementing changes, they were trying to identify some components, some repetitive components, or some focal points of those implementation processes, which really have significant influence on the success, simply, of those processes. And to me, change management is kind of a roadmap, which allows us to plan ahead before we do something as much as possible, allows us to identify all the key stakeholders, all the people we should have on our side, and who should be supporting the change process. Also, the element of communication, so what do we communicate to whom, to what level of detail, by what channels to make it effective, and elements such as engaging people, so to the extent possible, making sure that people who will be affected by the change or representatives of those groups of people are engaged in designing the final state, the ultimate state, which is expected after the change. So there is a chance that this is not this change is not perceived as something that is imposed on the organization, on people from outside, but as much as possible, make it something perceived as their change or our own change, our own process. And I think just sticking to the principles of the change management really helps us to minimize the resistance and minimize the number of flaws in the process.